So the Shice minions were out, scampering about the scrapyard as one does on a sunny afternoon, and they brought me back this: The Future of Noise Guitar. Now, the layers of devastation to this masterpiece of shistiness only become apparent upon close inspection, but then it's like peeling an onion. The layers just never stop. Layers upon layers. Now, the battery pack missing and this whole electronic assembly presumably being is disappointing for the pre-apocalyptic present day, but will be of no importance few years after the inevitable downfall of civilization, after the batteries have all been consumed and there's no juice to fire up the amps anyway. Now, this buckle in the bridge is most apparent. Don't know how they managed to pull that one off. Either the shistiness of this primitive Ovation copy is so supreme that the bridge just managed to start ripping off on its own, or they over-tightened the strings so much that the tension was just ripping the bridge off, because you can see here how it's cracked. Or did they manage to crack it? I don't know. This is rare to see this kind of devastation, especially on a guitar that's presumably not 100 years old. And then it wasn't until I had been playing it, for lack of a better word, for over an hour that I realized the saddle is completely gone. Now, these are things where we can theorize about the idiocracy, the indisputable idiocracy that is leading up to the apocalyptic event, after which this will be the future for anybody into remotely sonic youth or experimental stuff. I think things like this are going to be the key to the future of experimental art music. Now is your chance to help shape the post-apocalyptic future by helping me decide what to do with this thing. As you can see, the action is incredibly high, although not really unplayable, and then putting a saddle in, which would actually be a cheap fix, would only make it higher, and then it would be unplayable. But you can still just barely manage, especially when you tune it down to something incredibly low so that you will reduce the risk of the bridge ripping off even further. Because you can kind of play it and get some kind of oriental sounding thing out of it. Because I'll be honest, even as a Sonic Youth fan, I've been incredibly lax and lackadaisical about doing the right thing and messing around with third bridge thing. And I don't even have a real metal bar, so I think it should be cylindrical and not square, right? And a drumstick, you can kind of get it in there, but like, so you could do, I don't know, a koto thing. I like those instruments, the koto and the gujin or guqin, the Chinese thing that's like a table with strings. So you just bend behind here and but this is where I need your advice, because I've seen people do it. Colleague Loop-Based Zero has done a lot of videos with prepared guitar, and he knows what he's doing, and I don't. So if you want to suggest, I don't know, different things you can clamp on here and stuff, just anything to make a different way out of playing it. This sounds reasonable, though. I guess more tension. Yeah, it can't be smacking around against the pen. I don't know. I guess I could just tighten them more. See if the bridge rips off. Then where do you find the harmonic here? Okay, so you got, does this have any, you could put it down there. Where do you find the harmonics when you got a third bridge? Do you do harmonics? Because I've seen on the gujin or guzheng, guqin, they do a lot of harmonics, and they have a third bridge thing. But they're playing it like this, I don't know. So this is where I need your advice, because I bet a lot of people out there have had more experience doing things like this. Because I've seen a lot of prepared guitar people who were really serious, and this has been done, this is a practice, you know, just what should I do? This is all got to be usable sounds for something. Like I could be the background guy in the post-apocalyptic experimental band who's making the weird spacey noises in the background, right? Seems like intuition tells me to put it at the 12th fret. And then hilariously, even in massively detuned form, it's kind of playable in standard for some kind of skronk. And this kind of ties in with the Swans video I just did where we're talking about the true atonality. Acoustic true atonality. True acoustic atonality. Staircase chord. That is one nice thing about these Ovation type things. You got good top fret access for some horrible noise. Still, does that sound to you somehow like more usable than the Koto-esque third bridge prepared guitar thing with that? I don't know. You be the judge, or any other ideas. The other one I can think of is put on those ball end nylon strings. That's got to be really low tension. And then maybe you could get something kind of playable with that where you can disregard the incredibly high action. I don't know. But spending any real money beyond a set of strings or something, I guess 20 is about the max I would put in, whatever, 20 fiats of your choice. And hilariously, it has no name. This is not a Harley Benton. Harley Bentons would not do that. Which begs the question, who did, you know? And that's where the idiocracy comes in that leads into the inevitable decline and downfall of civilization, because I think they just over-tighten the strings, like, incredibly. However, it could be that the idiocracy is on the manufacturing side, and this is a thing that's just of such supremely low quality that it cannot withstand having strings. And then, of course, put it into some kind of open tuning and use it for harmonics. That seems like it might be one of the more likely ones, too. And then it would get new strings that will hold a pitch. But with these decrepit rubber bandy strings, is their failure to hold a pitch not the amusing factor that adds the chaos to the future post-apocalypse acoustic music? Where every blow of the pick could detune it even further, and then you get the unpredictable... that makes it into truly experimental music. Never know how it's going to go out of tune and when. So I guess we'll get a public opinion poll going and post your thoughts. Prepared guitar, harmonics, put new strings on, or leave them be, just do nothing. Oh yeah, should we replace the saddle? Oh man, seems like it would be important, but maybe it's not. And have you tried a project like this before? Have you rescued a guitar? How much money did you spend? How much would you spend? Because I said 20, maybe 30 if it's guaranteed to work. But after that, it's kind of like I would buy a new instrument, one of the cheapest ones, and make a video about it to test the, mass production, really cheap stuff, and if it's any good, because that's kind of what I'm here for. So, if you made it to the end of this mess, I would implore you to post your feedback in the comments below, and I will take you out with the all-round carefree package in indiscriminately detuned form. We got some kind of drop D thing going.